If you still watch the news at 10, turn that shit off, because it's really fucking with your subconscious brain. The whole UK mindset is cooked. You go to school and we basically get programmed to become a factory worker or become a 9 to 5, and we go to school from 9 till 3 around about, so it's warming you up for that life. So you've heard people say affirmations like, they wake up, I'm making 20k a month, thinking that's going to change anything. But it won't, because that's logical and your subconscious doesn't respond to that. I believe that sales is personal development with a paycheck. Ego comes from insecurity every single time. So if someone's got a high ego about how much money they make, really are scared about losing all of that, or they're not making that much money. The way you think determines the way that you feel. The way that you feel determines how you act. And then how you act day to day ultimately determines the life that you've actually got.
Yes, people, so welcome back to the Entrepreneurship Unfiltered podcast. And today we are in the 3rd episode and we've got a very, very special guest coming from Burnley. And yeah, I just want to kind of get him to introduce himself, but he is somebody who makes multiple 5 figures through sales online. But we'll get straight into it. And what is it that you actually do for a living?
So my name's Dylan Smith. I am a high ticket closer as well as a mindset coach, specifically for high ticket closers and guys in the info space. That's a very brief introduction for me, but I'm sure you've got a few more questions around it.
Yeah, like obviously you're the first person I've gotten to for sales. There's a reason for that, because I know that you are doing like bits inside of the sales space. But the first thing to kind of ask you and to explain is, how have you found your journey from start to finish? More like, you know, literally going back from day one, starting your entrepreneurship journey and just kind of taking it from there until now the position you're in.
So all the way back in the entrepreneurship journey. Right. So I'll take you back to when I was 18, because that's when I started working. When I was 18, I was working in a restaurant and I just finished college, and I had a decision. It was like, am I going to go to college? Well, I'm going to carry on with my education and go to uni, or am I going to get a job? Am I going to try and start a business? I thought to myself, right, what's the point in me going to university, dropping 20, 30, 40 grand, putting myself in debt for the next God knows how many years to get a degree, being taught by people maybe in business who don't even know how to run a business, they've never run a business, be taught about fitness by someone who's fat?
Yeah.
Or do I go and try a few things, maybe set up a business, learn a few skills, and then start my own thing up? If I'd have gone to uni genuinely, I would have gone down the degeneracy route. I'd have been drinking, doing drugs, partying all the time, not really giving a fuck about my education, and I'd have just been there for the uni lifestyle that people go there for. So the best decision that I ever made was actually not going to uni, I think. And what I did was an interesting story. Things just fell into place. I met a window cleaner basically, and I spoke to him for a few weeks. Eventually he offered me a job and he said, why don't you come and work with me this summer? And I was like, what have I got to lose? It's cash in hand. I'll make a bit of money. I'll be outside in the summer in England. It'll be all right. So I did it for 6 months. Fast forward the 6 months of me doing it, I was enjoying it. To be fair, loving it, working with loads of lads in a van, speaking to people every single day, learning sales as well, which I didn't even realise I was doing, just knocking on people's doors, being a bit cheeky, trying to clean the windows, trying to do all sorts of things for different services. And my boss turned around to me after 6 months and he was like, look, to be honest with you, you're not going to be able to work for me. And initially my heart sank. I was gutted because I was proper enjoying it. And he said, you've already asked me too many questions. You've worked out exactly how much money you're making me. You've worked out how much I'm paying you, and there's a gap. And I can just see that entrepreneurial spirit in you like I was when I was younger. So he said, if you want to take this jump and jump into it, get yourself a van. We'll help you set up your window cleaning business and we'll go from there. Because he said, I think you'll smash it. And I was like, I was 19 at the time and I thought, that's a lot of pressure. But I was so excited to get into it because I've always wanted to be a business owner and be my own boss. So what did I do? That phone's on.
That's all right, I'll leave it.
Will they be able to hear it? We can clip this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be sound.
Yeah, okay. So what I did was I took a 10 grand loan out at 19. Looking back, maybe not the greatest decision, but I'm not going to live with any regrets because I won't be here today if I didn't do that. Bought a van and then bought some window cleaning gear, got off on my way, started selling my services to people, knocking on doors at the biggest houses that I could find and pitching my services to them. So I basically became a door-to-door salesman for myself without even realising that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I built a really good business for my age. I did that for 3.5 years. initially I started with houses, domestic, and then quickly built up a few good rounds, was making nice 4 figures every single month. Employed a couple lads, that didn't really work out. Started selling to like businesses then and doing bigger services. I even cleaned my old school, which was like a mad full circle moment for me because I ended up charging them a few grand for it. So yeah, I did that for 3.5 years and then quickly realised that I hated working outside in England. My income was at the mercy of the weather. If it was snowing or raining, I couldn't earn money. And I like to have full control over my life, my income. And I quickly realised that window cleaning wasn't going to be my forever thing. So I quickly, started looking at different ways to make money, how to maximise my skill set that I had. Because basically what I did was wrote down all my skills on a piece of paper, analysed it and thought, what would I actually be good at? Then I came across this whole high ticket closer space. You can work for 4 hours a day, earn 20k a month on a beach from your laptop. And it interested me. Obviously, I was initially worried about being scammed, as everyone is when they hear online money. The perception is, especially in Burnley, like where we come from, it's like, oh, no one can do that. You can't make it out of Burnley. Everyone's just trying to scam you. Be careful giving your money to random people on the internet. But I didn't listen to any of that because I seen the lifestyle that some people were living. And I thought, well, if he can do it, genuinely, why can't I? The only gap from him to me is mindset. And I didn't know that at the time, but that's what I've realised getting into this side of things. And then I invested most of my savings. I think I dropped 4 or 5k onto a program to learn remote sales, and then did that alongside my window cleaning business. I'd work from like 8 till 4 on the business, and then I'd come home and work on my skill set. I'd do role plays with people in the community just to try and get better, get a bit more confident at it. And yeah, from there, I think for the next 60 days, I just focused on my learning, joining calls with people, networking, understanding how they did it, seeing the money that they were making. There were people in my community doing like 10, 20, 30k a month. And I knew if I stuck at it, I'd be able to get there. And after 60 days, I landed my first role. So it was a closing role on a US offer. It was for like a crypto import product. Now I was buzzing about it. I thought, this is it. Next month, I'm going to earn my first 10k. For the next month, I didn't earn anything. Well, I was working the business in the daytime. In the evenings, I was doing like 6 till 12 or 1 a.m. and then getting up the next day, repeating the process. So I was just working for about 18 hours a day and then sleeping. Month 1, made nothing. Month 2, I made my first K. Month 3, I made 2k. And then that was it for me. I was like, I've seen enough. I've got the conviction. I know if I put all my time into this, that I can make it work. And then I sold the business, sold all my window cleaning rounds. Everyone around me is like, what the hell are you doing? You're making really good money. You're a business owner. You're successful at a young age. Why would you go and like try and live this life where people are scamming you on the internet? Things like that. The typical like mindset. And for the next 3 months, I made £0. So I ended up spending all the money that I made from selling my business because I was trying to keep up the lifestyle that I had being a business owner whilst being a high ticket closer, making £0 for the next 3 months. And then since then, it's a very long story, right? But I'll get into it.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Since then, I actually went on to make really good money as a closer, did some big months, and I realised that there was a problem. So many people are focused on the skill set side of things, but once they know exactly the words they need to say, they've already got that. What holds people back in sales and in everything, same with you with the trading and stuff, is their mindset. Mm-hmm. Because I was still operating from an identity of me as a window cleaner business owner when I was trying to become a big 5-figure month high ticket closer, and there was a gap. And every time I'd start doing well, I'd self-sabotage because my identity was still stuck in that version of me. So that's a very long-winded story of it, but that's pretty much how I've got to where I am today.
It's a great story. Like a lot of people don't have that, ups and downs and all these different different things and then kind of finding the one in a way. But from what I gathered from that is you've always been an entrepreneur. You've always been business minded. You've always wanted more for yourself, which is what a lot of people don't have. And that's what kind of allows people like us to connect and come together because we have the same mindset. We know exactly where we're going to be in the future and we're not going to let anybody tell us any different, which is great. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great story. But going back right to the start, that person that was like, cleaning them windows and doing all these things like, door-to-door sales in a way. What would you say you took from doing that will now help you in this like specific period?
What I did when I was going door to door, I've always been like cheeky. People would call me cocky, and I was just like having people on, and I've always like speaking to random people. I think from a kid, I was like naturally inquisitive. I was always asking people why, speaking to randomers, asking them what they do, just trying to work out what the world is around us. But as a window cleaner, like I was just so confident already to go and knock on someone's door to sell my services to them that I learned so much about sales in general, even though they were really low ticket, like monthly retainers. But I think that the skills that I took from it was those personable skills as a salesman door to door into high ticket, because I've experienced so many rejections, so many no's, and so many deep conversations to sell someone that moving into high ticket really wasn't that big and scary like it is to some people. I think I learned that when I was cleaning windows, people did just like me on my round. I was having like 10 cups of coffee every single day with people because they just enjoyed the conversations. And sometimes they're a little bit annoying because you're wasting time having a coffee speaking, but you've got to keep them happy. So I do think I've took that same skill set into high ticket. And I think the biggest thing is the confidence that I built doing that every single day. Because I was just like 19-year-old, tiny, skinny guy in his van that I was paying like $4,000 a year for insurance because no one wanted to insure me. And yeah, I built so much in that time, I believe.
I'll say, I mean, yeah, like you took a lot of skills from literally from your childhood, really. And to say that now in your sales, what you're doing literally at this minute, to say that you've grown over that whole period to be able to become the best salesman you are right now. And that's not to mean that you can't get any better because as you know, like we briefly mentioned the mindset side of stuff and how that's affected you, that's affected me and everyone who's watching, everyone who has been, doesn't even have to be in the entrepreneurial space really, but mindset for me was definitely the biggest shift before I started to make any money, because the mindset is completely different. If you want to make, like, let's just say 5 to 10K a month, which is a lot of money. Like, let's be real, compared to a job. No, it's not. But I mean, I'm trying to say like compared to a job, like, I know it's not, you know, it's not. Yeah. But for the people that are kind of watching, if they're just working a job, to them, it's a lot. But you then understand that how easy it is to make 10K, 20K, 30K, like it is easy. And I'm not saying that I've done that yet, but I know it's going to be easy. But that's what mindset shifts come with. You've got to understand that it is easy, because for me starting out, I was like, oh, I'm just clicking buttons trading wise. I'm just clicking buttons. I'm going to make, an extra couple £100 a day. Like even at the start, it was like 20 quid a day. And I was like, yeah, this is good. And then you get comfortable with that because it becomes so easy. You're still making that. But then when you take that next step, it's a whole different mindset shift you've got to take to be able to consistently make the money you want to make with, let's just say 10K a month, because it's what most people strive towards. But it's really
like that buzzword number in it. Like everyone, I want to make 10K a month, but why? And then they're just like, I don't actually know why.
Because I could live a sick life. And then it's like you go and make 10K and you're like, nothing really changes.
No, nothing changes.
Nothing. I mean, you can buy maybe nicer things, you can live a better lifestyle, but once you're making, for me, like making 10K, but then surrounding myself with people that are doing 100K, my spending's all over the gaff, so I'm not even really making much because I'm spending to surround myself with these guys. Because, I mean, that's one thing that probably a lot of people don't know is, yes, you're surrounding yourself with good people and people that are making a lot more money is going to make you money. But they live a higher lifestyle, so you end up spending a lot more. Yeah,
to keep up with it. And it's part of the reason that I moved out to Marbella. It's in Burnley, when you get past a certain threshold, if you're making more than 5K a month in Burnley, you're pretty much doing really well.
You're better than everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And then I noticed that I felt like a big fish in a small pond, and that's never a place that you're going to grow. You need to be the small fish in a big pond. Because it's like I go to the gym in the morning, turn up in my little Audi rental that I've got for a month, right? And the standard car is G-Wagon, Urus, Lambo, Mustangs. There's just everything in there. And I'm just walking around thinking, wow, I've got a lot of work to do. And it's so much more motivating than going to the gym group in Burnley and seeing banged up Fiestas and crappy cars like that.
I mean, Marbella is sick. I want to touch on Marbella, to be fair, because it's like, mad. I mean, we're in Marbella, but I mean, just touching on the fact that how crazy the network is. We've come here, like we've come to where the podcast studio is, and we go outside and there's some crazy people that make unreal amounts of money. And just to be able to be surrounded by these people, get connected, and start to build relationships with people, because it, like you said, in Burnley, even let's just say, forget Burnley, the UK.
Yeah, the UK as a
whole
whole.
of the UK, like you're going to struggle to make a connection with somebody that is making anywhere above, I mean, 3k a month, really. Like between that 3k to until up to like the millionaires or the people that are doing like maybe 50 to 100k a month, that gap is like, it's so big. Like, I mean, let's be real. There's no such thing really as middle class anymore. It's lower class and rich.
Yeah.
Like,
Lower class
not,
and upper class. That's literally all it is. There is no middle ground in the UK.
No,
you're either living paycheck. Yeah, you're either living paycheck to paycheck, or you're wealthy enough to go and do other things. I think in general, like if we talk about mindset, like there's such a fear of investing into yourselves. There's no self-belief. They're full of doubt. They think everything online's a scam. We're living in scarcity most of the time. And the reason that I've come up with is that why people in the UK, like my mum and dad are the same. They live in scarcity. They live in a fear state. And every time I come into the house at 10 p.m, what's on? The news at 10. And all it is just fear, death, war, taxes. And they say to me that, oh, I'm not really watching it. I'm not really taking it in. But subconsciously, you're being programmed into a fear state. And then that's a low frequency emotion. So then it correlates to other areas of your life, scarcity, lack of. And I think it's such a big issue. So if you still watch the news at 10, turn that shit off, because it's really fucking with your subconscious brain. Can we swear?
You do what you want, bro. Do what you want.
That's nice.
But yeah, like subconscious brain is so big as well, because a lot of people don't even realize that all these little things they're watching every single day, TikTok, even music, like music now is crazy. That's something that I found out pretty much straight away when I joined, because Liam, who we did a podcast with, he's such a conspiracy theorist guy. Like,
yeah, he's just like me.
So he was talking about like how music, any like music on the radio, it's got at a certain frequency to the point where you will feel a certain emotion towards that music. So listening to high frequency music or meditation music, all these different things allow your brain to really open up and like allow thoughts to come in, instead of just keeping what's already in and not allowing anything else to come in. Like you're programmed throughout school, you're programmed through everything. Let's like school, college, work, because I mean, you go to a job and it's like they've been programmed their whole life. They're just passing everything down to you anyway. It's a lot of
it's a lot of what. Yeah, it is. But it's like you go to school and we basically get programmed to become a factory worker or become a 9 to 5. We go to school from 9 till 3 around about. So it's warming you up for that life. As kids, we should be left to just sleep till whenever we want so we've got a chance to grow and develop. I'll never send my kids to a school.
No.
Like genuinely, I don't want to do that. I want to be successful enough, and I will be, to bring them around with me wherever I'm going, and I will coach them. I will literally program my kid's subconscious brain for success. So by the time he's 12, he'll already be doing 100k months.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be so cool when you see this like next generation of kids, when you've got people like our age who are more self-aware and understanding what's actually going on around us and how much like they're actually going to be just killers. But then there's also going to be the other side of it, the blue-haired goths that are growing up and having kids when they just shouldn't be allowed to.
I'm excited to see like what's going to happen, because right now we live in a world of pure abundance to achieve anything. Like you can go and make hundreds of thousands of pounds from your room in wherever you're like, whatever you want to make, you can make from wherever you want in the world, from all these different opportunities that are being thrown around. Like a lot of people probably say that right now it's probably the worst time in the world. You know, the money's like, so everything's so expensive, taxes are being raised, everything, the lifestyle's more expensive, which is true in comparison to a job. But that's only because jobs aren't going to get you anywhere now. We do need them. So it's like, if you work a job, then carry on working, because I'm going to need a cleaner for when I'm older anyway. But like, for people that are actually wanting more for themselves, it's so simple. Not easy, just
it is easy,
but it's simple.
Because if you think it's going to be hard, what's it going to be?
Well, yeah.
If you think it's going to be easy, what's it going to be? It's the same thing with like time frames. And this is part of the work that I do with people. They're like, oh, I need to work for a year before I'm making 5 figures a month as a closer. If you think it's going to take that long, you're going to trick your brain into taking the action so that it takes that long. I've seen a guy who I live with at the moment, he's been in sales for 4 months. In his 3rd month, he did 11 grand pounds.
Yeah, it's mad. It's like you're not getting that anywhere else.
No experience like at all. And you could do it with trading though, right?
Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I know guys that have come in from us. Like personally, I brought a guy in 2 months in. He did 35k in 2 months, his first 2 months in trading, which is crazy. Sick. But like that is what you can do. But that's because he came in with an abundance mindset. He came from a previous experience where he had the right mindset. But yeah, I'd say for someone starting afresh, literally going from having the mindset of being programmed by the government or whatever you want to call it, be programmed by, or drop no fucking government schemes now. But,
you're gonna end up getting shadow.
Yeah, let's not do that. But like for people that are literally starting a whole fresh, like for myself, when I started my entrepreneurship journey, that shift in mindset is going to take time, but you've also got to just believe like in yourself. Like that was one thing I always did, is believe that I knew. I believed in other people's vision, because when you start out, you can't see it. Like I couldn't see where I was going to be. I couldn't see myself making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K, which I've not achieved all of them, but I'm going to be achieving them. Now I can see it. And the reason for that I am still here is because I believed in other people's success. So I saw somebody else do it from my hometown, starting at the same age as me with the exact same guidance, and I'll just copy and paste. Yeah. It's literally that simple. If I wanted to get into sales, I'll come to you and say, okay, I want you to take me to 20K in sales. You could do it in 6 months. I know you could because you've done it. So it's like, it's simple to do once someone else has already done it. Like that's why being connected and network is so important.
Yeah. And that is a rare mindset to have though, because people either operate from one or two different paradigms when it comes to decision making. They either operate from fear or they operate from faith. Faith, high frequency, fear, low frequency. You can call it God and the devil, you can call it heaven or hell, whatever you want to call it, right? It's just polarity, because this thing of polarity is opposites. It's right. It only exists in the third dimension. So this realm that we can perceive, the chessboard, the water on the table, these mics, right? Now I would say, right, 98 of 100 people operate from a place of fear because they've been programmed that way to be scarce and to have a lack of resources, a lack of finances, a lack of belief, right? But the 2 out of 100 outliers that operate from faith and have full conviction in themselves, other people, the journey that they're on, they're the people that are successful. If everyone understood that fear isn't even real, like failing isn't even real, then we'd be a lot more successful and happy as people. Because the only reason someone won't step into a change and try and, let's just say, make money online or set up a business is because they're scared of failing. But you only fail when you stop. There is no actual failures. Failures are just a lesson. I don't believe I can fail, because what I'm going to do is learn a lesson and then apply that knowledge the next time I'm faced with the same situation and then go up. Yeah. So I think that's such a huge thing, is fear of failure. People are fearful of change in their life. People are also fearful of success in a funny way. Yeah. Now, what I've noticed from my clients and observing it, they're like, I'm not scared of anything going wrong. What is it that I'm actually scared of? Because I do feel fear. And I'll ask them like, okay, so if you made the money that you want to be making, let's say they were going to make 50K a month after working at Tesco. If you actually made that money, how would it make you feel? And we work it out in a sense that it's actually going to make them feel like an alien and like an outlier from their typical friends, because they can't even have the same conversations then, because they're not operating from the same frequency. And a lot of mindset and fear comes from tribal thought patterns. So you've got to think, right, our DNA has been programmed over hundreds and hundreds of years when we were walking around as cavemen and things like that. If 100 years ago, we had the same feeling of like being alienated or detached from our tribe, what would that essentially mean? That would mean that we are disbanded, or we don't have access to water, we don't have access to food, and then eventually we're going to die, because your subconscious brain, which creates 95% of your reality, likes to feel comfortability, because that's its survival mechanism, which is really interesting. And that's why I used to hear fear of success and be like, you can't have fear of success. And then I went all deep into mindset and the power of your subconscious and realized that actually it's just tribal thought patterns, and it's the subconscious feeling unsafe, so it doesn't want you to take the actions to get there. 100%.
I mean, I'm going to kind of touch on the fear of success slightly, because it's something that I was fearful of success because I was fearful of money, because all my life I've been brought up to never have that. Maybe, I don't want to say never have it, because I was brought up in a good place. Like I had everything I wanted as a kid, but it wasn't like I was abundant in money. So like I would say I am, probably not now, but I know I will be. And just having that upbringing from...
Are you not abundant in money now?
I wouldn't say so.
Why not?
I would say abundance of money is different to abundance of like happiness and success, because I don't correlate them two things together.
Okay.
Which is something I'm going to go into and ask you the question of what you kind of think on that.
Okay, I'll let you do that.
Yeah,
then. Carry on.
But like with the whole fear of money, like everyone, I feel like not everyone, but a lot of people are programmed to be fearful of having money. So let's say, for instance, your whole life, let's say you get paid, your instinct is to spend that money. Like for most people, they don't save it. They're like, that's how much I've got to spend. I need to spend that. And it's like you can correlate that to time with, you've got all this time, but you don't spend it the same as you would spend your money. So like the money comes in, you want to spend it all straight away. But then you've got all this time in a day, and you will spend the majority of that doing something for somebody else, or you'll spend the majority of that doing something to literally destruct your own brain, which is mental. But yeah, like the next thing I want to go into is your idea on success, like what your opinion of, because everyone's is different, but what you think true success is.
I'd break it down into 3 parts. I mean, success and happiness kind of correlate though to me. I want to, master all 3 realms. So financially, spiritually, and mentally. And actually, I would say financially, spiritually, and physically. They're the 3 that I feel like every man should master, and he's going to have happiness in his life. That's how I define it. But success, it's a very broad term. People just think that might be just money, but it's not. You need to be dialed in mentally, and you do need to be dialed in physically, because then you can be proud of who you are in each different realm of the world. Yeah,
so like, because I mean, for most people, success, like until you start looking into what success really is, like the definition of it, which we went over in the last podcast, which we'll go over again, which is Earl Nightingale saying that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Meaning that as long as you're working towards a goal, you're successful. And that is the definition of success. But a lot of people think success is money in your bank account, like a number on your screen, which is crazy, because we can go down the money rabbit hole. Money's not real, but which is crazy. But like, a lot of people work their whole life for something that's not real, which I think we kind of went back down last time. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again.
Have to. It's just a fugazi. It's just numbers on a screen.
Yeah, it's
just
like,
energy.
It is. And it's crazy how everything connects. Once you start to look down rabbit holes and you start to look down conspiracy theories, you can call me a weirdo all you want, but it all aligns, it all connects with everything that happens in the world, whether it's to do with the war, whether it's to do with the government, whether it's to do with money or a specific thing they want to like put out to the world. But yeah, we won't go down that for too much. But yeah, like going back to like the success side so like your success, you said spiritually, financially and physically.
Yeah.
So how would you say you achieved all 3 of them?
Financial success comes from sales at the moment. I've obviously got a few different things that I want to get into. The trading side of things is definitely something, but right now it's not my focus. My focus right now is becoming the best salesperson that I can be and helping hundreds of other people go on that journey. Not by learning a new skill set, by understanding what mindset actually means and then being successful off the back of it, using the power of your subconscious for success. So that's financially, right? We'll say mentally instead of spiritually. Mentally, it's just understanding me as a person, outside of my physical body, how I think about myself, how I think about others, how I perceive the world in front of me. Perception's such a big thing in life. And just being happy with my own mental state. And then physically, being in the best shape that I could possibly be every single year, just getting 1% better every single day. That's very simply how I'd put it.
Yeah. No, yeah, like I agree with you on it, to be fair, like saying that them 3 things is what every man should be working towards. But then like success is difficult. Success is difficult because I don't think there's a specific thing you should have like a number that can make you successful. There's not a certain physique. There's not a certain, well, I'd say mindset, to be fair, there is. Because let's just go on to the example of like, what would you say if someone was like mentally and physically successful? Would you say if they wasn't financially successful, they wasn't successful? Or would you say it takes all 3 to become successful?
Well, you've seen fat people who are multimillionaires, but are they happy with themselves? I think if you're mentally successful, the rest will come, because making money is a byproduct of having a solid mindset. Being in an elite physical condition is a byproduct of having a solid mindset. this is my realization, and this is why I'm so passionate about mindset in general. And people think mindset's a lot of different things, but I'll break it down if you want me to do that. Have you got a few more questions?
No, go into it. Go for it.
What would you say mindset is in your terms? In like, it's not a trick question either. Just what does it mean to you?
I mean, mindset is what you think on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Pretty much that.
If you break it down, it's like, what is your mind set on? Very simple. You break the words down. Now, if it's what you think about, do you know how many thoughts we have as humans every single day?
Way too many. And I bet a lot of them are bad.
Well, okay. That's interesting.
That's something you can probably go into.
Yeah, well, as humans, we have around 60,000 thoughts that go through our head every single day. Do you know where the thoughts take place?
In the brain?
Yeah. So no, it's not stupid. Everyone thinks I'm trying to trick them into these questions when I do this, but they take place in two parts of your brain. So your subconscious and then your conscious. Do you know the split between the two?
I mean, the subconscious is something that's like you're not actively thinking. So like my subconscious, right now I'm thinking of what I'm going to say next. My subconscious could be thinking of what I'm eating for tea later, whatever, but it's not what you're thinking in that specific moment.
Yeah, so it's what's going on in the background. And the split is actually 90 to 95% subconscious thoughts and 5 to 10% conscious, right? This is interesting, and this is what makes mindset for me like such a great topic to speak about, because we're also focused on the 5 to 10%, the conscious. But would you agree with this, right? The way you think determines the way that you feel. The way that you feel determines how you act. And then how you act day to day ultimately determines the life that you've actually got. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay, so if we work it back, the way that we think determines the life that we've got. Fair enough to say?
Yeah.
Okay, now your internal world creates your external reality every single time. It's a nice little way to put it. Now, if the way that we think determines the life that we live, and we have 60,000 thoughts every single day, but 90 to 95% of them are subconscious going on in the background, the programming that we've had from the ages of 1 to 7 and 13 and even every day, what are humans actually doing to reprogram their subconscious side of the brain for success generally?
Like listening to, probably just like probably doing the wrong, actually this is interesting now, you got me thinking, but like focusing on the 10% instead of the 90. I'm guessing that's what I would say. You kind of want me to answer there.
I don't want you to say anything.
But as in, that's what I gathered from it. With you saying what you said, is that majority of people will think about the 10%, but not the 90%. And like, let's say, for instance, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to develop my mindset. I'm going to go and listen to an audio that I'm actively thinking of right there and then, which is conscious. But obviously subconscious is something that's, I mean, you can explain it for yourself, but how do you control subconscious?
Okay. So your conscious side of the brain is the masculine, right? Your subconscious is the feminine. What do males respond to?
Masculine.
The masculine. Well, what? Yeah. So,
as in, like, what are they attracted by or respond to? Or
what do they respond to? As in, like, talking to them. I'll explain it. Okay, so your conscious side of your brain is the masculine. Males respond to logic. We'd have a very logical conversation. We're not going to start crying to each other. I mean, we could do. We're probably not.
No.
And then, okay, so then the subconscious side of your brain, which creates 90 to 95% of your reality, is what? Responds to what?
Like sadness, or I don't know.
Sadness is an emotion.
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Because it's female. You know from like being around women, they're very emotional creatures. We're the logical ones. So understanding that side of your brain creates most of your reality, it makes sense that the subconscious doesn't actually respond to logical inputs. So you've heard people say affirmations like they wake up, I'm making 20K a month, thinking that's going to change anything. But it won't, because that's logical, and your subconscious doesn't respond to that. The subconscious responds to visualization backed with emotion. That's just how it works. Okay. Now, another cool thing about belief as well and creating your reality, your subconscious side of your brain doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. It's not a thinker, it's just an operator. You say go, it says yes. It's like Google, right? So if you was to go in and type in on the laptop right now, why is chocolate bad for me? Google's going to give you all the reasons that it's bad for you. Clear the search bar and go in on Google and type in, why is chocolate good for me? Google's going to give you all the reasons that it's good for you. It's biased to input. the subconscious side of your brain works in the exact same way. So even if you don't consciously believe that you can go on and make X amount of money, change your family's life, do all these amazing things and the desires that you actually want, doesn't matter, right? Because you can trick your brain and reprogram your subconscious for the success to actually believe you are a version of you that you don't consciously believe right now. Very wordy, but it does make sense. So like the question that I always ask to everyone, it's like, if we have the realization and the understanding that your subconscious creates 90 to 95% of the actions that you take and ultimately the reality that you live, what are you doing to reprogram it for success? Because we've been programmed for years and years and years. Our identity is built between the ages of 1 to 7 when we don't actually have control over our surroundings and what's going on. If we've been being programmed by, like you said earlier, TV, school, family, friends, since youth, why are we not reprogramming ourselves for success? Because what people end up doing is they go around in circles all their life and they wonder why they can't get past this next level and reach the next thing. It's because the subconscious programming that and the story that they've been telling themselves for years is holding them back and they self-sabotage. Really interesting.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we're getting a free sales training.
Yeah, no, you can have this
though. Not sales training, mindset training. Sorry, but this is. I mean, you're all getting it for free, so you should be happy because I feel like I've learned a lot. Yeah,
you should be.
Like, I've learned a lot there. Like with mindset, something that I've never, bought a course for it. I've never got mindset training off a specific mindset coach, if you want to call it that, which you are. So it's obviously good to get your understanding because it helps me understand stuff. Like I knew what you was on about, but I couldn't understand it in word terms.
That's
if you
the thing.
Get what I'm trying to say.
A lot of mindset people will post things and it's very like high level and they're very articulate with the way they go into it, but they don't really give you the implementation because people don't pay for info. We live in like high ticket info coaching. That's not what it is. Yeah. All the info is already out there on YouTube and in books. A lot of my learnings are from books and then just applying it to my life. People don't pay for information. They pay for implementation because even if it's staring at them right in the face, they don't know how to apply it and they don't know how to actually use the thing. So that's where I come in to actually teach them instead of just saying manifestation is real. I'll actually teach you the secrets behind it and the science behind why it actually works so that you can then believe it and then you can apply it. So I think it's interesting. We've never spoke deep about this. We've only had really conversations about sales and
stuff. But I mean, you don't have to answer the question, but what would you say is an act you can do on a daily basis to reprogram your subconscious mind?
Oh, you're getting it all for free now, though. This is what people will pay me for.
I know, but you can go touch on it slightly.
I'll go deep into it. Like you can have it because I'll give you the info, but if you don't know how to implement it properly and you're not accountable to it, it won't work. Exactly. I'll give you some practices personally that you can do after this and watch. Give it like 2-3 weeks and weird things will start happening.
Yeah,
trust me.
It's not moving out to my beer.
Yeah, I'll be coming back in summer, but yeah, I think I want to set up here. Anyway, besides the point, right? So the subconscious responds to emotion. Like I said to you, reprogramming the subconscious happens in 2 ways: through something called autosuggestion, which is just repetition, backed with visualization and emotion. So you've got a goal in mind, right? You want to achieve this thing. I don't know. Go on, let's do it to you. Let's actually put you through the process.
Should we do what's better, like a financial goal or do you reckon a mental?
Well, give me your financial goal first.
20K a month.
Okay.
Is the next goal.
Okay, so what's the burning desire behind that?
Burning desire behind that, I'd say just to build, I don't know, I feel like I just love the game. I love the game of just growing. So in every single way. So I've not just got financial goals. If I get it up here, I've got a long list of goals I want to achieve this year. The first one I always think is financial because it's easy. It's just a number. Boom, like 20K. That's what I'm working towards next. That's what I want to achieve this year.
It's logical.
Yeah. But and then also, so obviously I'll have goals for that. And then I'll also have like a goal that's maybe more like personal towards me, like buying my family something or
there we go.
Yeah, we can go on that. Like I would say one of my goals was to take my family on holiday, which I was able to achieve last month, which was, a quick little round of applause for myself.
I would actually applaud that. That's sick.
Yeah, we can go along with that one, like take my family on holiday.
Okay, so looking at those 2 goals there, if the subconscious responds to emotion and it creates 90% of your reality, what's more emotional? 20K a month written down on your whiteboard or the experience of you being able to pay for flights, pay for accommodation and take your whole family to a different country?
Yeah, definitely taking my family. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
But people have these goals in mind and they get attached to the money saying, I want to earn 20k a month, I want to earn 10k a month. And they get there and they realize that actually that's not even fulfilling and I'm not any happier because there's no emotion attached to it. Now, your subconscious responds to emotion. So for you to have a goal and to do the visualization and repetition, it needs to be emotional because that's the feminine side and that's what it responds to. Obviously, we can have these goals with repetition. How do we repeat it? Through meditation, which is something that I used to think was the most hippie, woo-woo, spiritual bullshit. You know, you've got hippies in the motorhomes that they're grounding on the floor and they're doing meditation. Hippies get like demonized because they're not successful. They might be mentally successful and happy, but they don't actually make any money because they don't care about the system. You know, life's just a game. You've got to understand the rules of it and then apply them to your situation to actually get to that next level. And you just keep going and keep going. So let's get into it. Meditation. How much do you actually meditate right now?
I've never meditated.
Okay, great. Because this is going to work for you massively, and then we'll get a nice testimonial off you when you reach the 20k goal, right? But genuinely, I know that it'll help you because you're just doing a lot of conscious efforts right now. You're saying you've got a conscious goal that you want to hit. Yeah, there'll be some more emotional ones, but it needs repetition. Like you can't just feel the emotions of what it'd be like to get to an end goal once and trick your subconscious brain into feeling and acting in terms of that version.
Okay.
It's got to be done over and over and over again. Your subconscious side of your brain is like a muscle. You obviously go gym, right? I've seen you. That's where we met. I'm sure we met in the gym, right? Yeah. But it's the biggest muscle in our brain. We wouldn't just go to the gym once and train biceps and expect to have huge, strong biceps. The mind and your subconscious side of your brain works in the exact same way. It needs repetition, it needs discipline, and over time, that muscle will get bigger, it will get stronger, and it will get more powerful. And this is how you get into manifestation. I just like to look at it as you're tricking your subconscious brain to believe something, feel the emotions, so that you take the actions towards that version of yourself.
Yeah.
That's
so like kind of finding, so let's say you put a financial goal in it, finding an emotional attachment to that that's going to allow you to get to that goal that maybe is going to make you work a lot harder.
Exactly.
So like, let's say I wanted to make 20k a month and I knew that if I needed to make that, if I needed to make that 20k a month, I could do this, like take my family to Dubai, that's just going to cost like 5-10 grand.
Yeah.
To do that, I'm going to have to be able to earn that amount of money. So let's say that's the goal, I'm going to achieve that quicker. And is that what you're kind of trying to say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because it responds to emotion. It's the feminine side. But if I just sat here and said to you, you need to think emotionally about your goals at the start of this conversation, would you have done it?
No.
But when I explain it and like why the science behind it and why it works, you're going to be a lot more bought into me as a person and to the actual implementation.
I'm going to get up 2 more goals just to like kind of put it into practice again, just to kind of see if it works, because that was like worked too perfectly.
Yeah.
Let me make sure they can't see my goals as well, because
give them away.
We don't want to put this out.
Well, why not though? Because something that I've noticed from people is that, not saying this is you, but the only reason someone wouldn't want to say a goal publicly is because deep down they don't believe they can actually get there.
Yeah, 100% I agree with that. But I'm just saying that some of these goals are like, well, yeah, I mean, most of them I'll tell you them, but some of them I just think personal ones, like emotion ones, like things I do for my family or certain, I mean, if my family members are watching this too, that's what I'm trying to think.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't want to give away the gifts. But yeah, like let's just say, okay, so one of my goals is to travel to 10 different countries. And then another one of my goals is to have 50k TikTok followers.
Okay, so they're the logical goals. When you can travel to 10 different countries, what sort of emotions do you think you'll experience after, watching the vlogs back every single time with the boys?
I mean, obviously I'm doing it right now, like traveling. I think this is the 3rd country this year. And
oh, really? That's mint.
So we did Rome on the weekend, and then I took my family to Tenerife. So that, not 3rd country, but 3rd destination, we'll say. But yeah, like the emotion attached towards it is like, I know what traveling gives you and I know how the way it makes you feel. Like I've not had one day where I felt down. I've not had one day where I felt not confident. Like everything is in flow state. I feel like so abundant in a way, like towards my life because of being in this position, even though, I keep it real, financially, not in the best position, but mentally and, I don't know what you want to call it, but like mentally and I don't know, like traveling, but the destination I'm in right now is like,
environmentally.
Environment as well. Yeah. So like the environment and my mindset is what's making me feel so abundant.
Yeah.
If you got what I'm trying to say. So like, but then I don't really tend to worry about money. It's not a conscious worry. Sometimes it is, don't get me wrong, which is something I'm trying to work on.
Yeah.
But because I realise that when it is when I lose or don't make.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when it is, I make a lot more.
Money is just energy. And I imagine money is like a magnet. It's like opposites attract. So if you're just needing and in a scarce mindset for money, it's going to repel you. But when you're fully detached and you're abundant, even if you can't see it in the 3D on the numbers on the screen, but you feel like you've got resources and you're going to be okay, then it actually attracts to you. This is a cool analogy for sales. It's like when you've got commission breath and someone can tell that you're desperate for the money and you need the comms, you lean in and they lean out. It's like a salsa dance. When they lean out, you lean in.
Yeah.
When you lean out in a sales call and you're like skeptical as fuck and you're really giving them a hard time because you're sort of acting like you don't want them to do the thing, they start chasing you and they're like, no, please give me this opportunity.
Yeah.
Money works the same way though. Exact same way.
No, 100%.
Money is like a magnet.
Yeah, I mean, it attracts to the right people.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why. But the one thing you probably realise yourself as well, the people that you see that have money have this mindset, and the one easy way to find it is by the questions they ask, the questions you ask them, and the conversations that you're having. Because let's just say, for instance, right, okay, I'm just going to use it as an example. We came here, we saw Brad outside. The first conversation was about like whether it's to do with, actually no, let's not say that, but whether it's to do with like real estate or like sales, whatever it was about. It's about money, it's about growing, it's about mindset. Whereas, let's say in Burnley, we've got two guys, John and Paul. I don't know who these guys are. They go to meet up with each other. The first thing they're chatting about, who won the football, or what pint are you getting? Like, how much have you know what I mean? Like, I've not got much money today, but we'll go out for a few pints. And them conversations is what's subconsciously, literally, reprogramming their brain because, or not even reprogramming, just carrying on the program, which is why it's so much harder for someone who's so deep in this programming to understand what's going on here. Like when let's just say some 60-year-old is going to, like, let's just say even like people in my family that are maybe a bit older, that look at me and think, you're never going to do that. And it's like, that's only because they believe that they could never do that. And it's just their own insecurities pushed out onto somebody else. Yeah,
because you can only perceive what you believe to be true. Like every single time. If you don't believe that you can make 10, 20K a month, you're not going to be able to. If you believe you're going to have a bad day, you're probably going to have a bad day. If you believe you're going to have an amazing day and you're grateful for everything, your day is going to look like that.
Yeah. I mean, you could take, it's like one thing you realise, let's just say trading, for example, like the people that I'm connected with, and it's crazy. Like I'll see guys that are in mental amounts of drawdown in a trade, or they've lost 6 figures, sometimes even 7 in a day. And it's like, but then they're still so happy. And they're still so detached from it all that their mindset is worth more than the money anyway. So they don't really care. Something that I realised about money as well is that people pedestalize it. It's the same thing if you pedestalized a girl and you thought she was amazing and she was above you. She's going to hate it, right? Same thing with money. When you think money is above you, you're always chasing it. I imagine money, this is my mindset with it. Money is below me. It's attracted to me. I don't need it at all. It's just energy. Whenever I do, I'm trying to remove the word need from my language because need, this goes off a bit, but need is essentially scarcity and lack of. Because if you need something, you don't have it. In comparison to when you're abundant, you've got more than enough of it. And you express gratitude on top of that for you having more than enough. And then you attract it even more. The Secret to Money is Having Some is a good book if you haven't read it. No, I haven't. But it doesn't mean just being silver spoon and born into money. It means just up here feeling that emotion of abundance. And it attracts to you. 100%. Because that was like, I mean, I'll just speak from an experience that I've had, but like January, at the start of the month, so December I left my job. December was my worst month in the past, the previous 6 months from December till June, whatever that period. December was my worst month and I left my job. So I was like, wow. So I've left my job. I actually got sacked, so I had no choice, but I thought I'm going all in and just going to run with it. And it was my worst month. I was so down. So then I kept losing. That month ended up being very bad. Like I made very small amounts of money. January, I came into a fresh mindset. The first 2 weeks, I focused on my mindset before, and I didn't even really aim to make any money. I just thought, I'm going to focus on my mindset. Obviously, it's certain things to pay my bills, whatever. And then when it got to the point where I was like, all right, I feel so abundant. I wouldn't even say I had that like conscious thought where I was like, I am abundant, but I felt like I was getting to them stages where I was feeling the type of way where I wasn't worried about money. I wasn't ever like thinking about it. And then I had like a huge day with the trading space and just in general for all my businesses. I ended up nearly making like 5 figures in a single day. And then the week after I had another great week. And it was like, I just felt so abundant. It was just coming and coming and coming. But then to say 2 weeks before that, I had no money and I didn't feel abundant at all. How quickly that can change, but then it's also how quickly you can lose it too. So it's like one thing I learned from that is when I was making the money, I stopped focusing on my mindset. I stopped focusing on my brain and then I lost it. So it's like lessons, in a way I haven't actually lost anything. It's just a lesson to learn, like you said. But yeah, that lesson I've learned now. So now when I get to the position where I was a couple of weeks ago, where I was making, massive amounts of money in days, weeks, whatever you want to call it, I now know that I can do that. But when I do that, I stay focused on the mindset.
That's it. And when you don't stay focused on the mindset, you start focusing on everything that's going on in the physical. Now, ask you a question. Do you believe in manifestation?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people don't, but the realization for people is that your internal world creates your external reality, right? The mind is where it starts. This is the cause. The effect is everything we see in the 3D in reality. Essentially, what we see in reality is a lagging metric because we're creating every single day up here. Now, manifestation's a funny thing. How would you describe it in your definition?
I'd say like believe and achieve in a short like sentence. Like if you believe it, then you go and achieve it. It's almost manifesting it where something is going from a thought into a physical in real life product in a way, or not product, but yeah, something in person.
I'll give you the definition that I've gone with, that I've learned from someone. Now, manifestation is when you internally shift to a degree in which you're no longer emotionally dependent on seeing the external change. It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, if we break it down, a very simple way that we can put it is fake it till you make it. The simplest way I could put it. But when you say internally shift, what does that mean? Okay, that means operating from a mindset of the version of you that's already achieved the thing. And then to a degree in which you're no longer emotionally dependent is basically means that you don't need to see the numbers on the screen, the car in the garage to stop operating from that. Because when you internally shift to that degree, it's just a case of how long can I stay in this mindset before time and reality catches up in the 3D? Because in the fourth dimension, above you, outside of you, you're already that person. You're already shifted internally in terms of your mindset.
Yep.
And if you keep operating from that, because the way that you think determines that what your actual life looks like, it is just a matter of time before it catches up in the reality. That's the game. People think they can just visualize once and believe they can manifest something whilst they're still operating in the same identity of the version of them that they're actually trying to escape.
Yeah, no,
which is interesting.
Yeah, because a lot of people will use the current situation as the reason why they can't get to where they want to be.
Excuses.
But it's literally the reason why you're still in that situation is the fact that you're so caught up in your situation. Like, let's say, for example, let's say money wise, you're making 2K a month and you're so caught up in that money that you don't feel abundant with that. Like there's no amount of money that's going to make you feel successful, abundant. Like you could be earning 500 quid a month and you could feel more abundant with someone making 50K a month because of the mindset shifts that you've had or they've had. Because, there's probably so many examples, but there's probably guys that are making 50K a month that are so unpersonally developed and they've just luckily got into it. Like, I don't really like to use that word because I feel like no one really achieves it luckily. They did put the work in, but it's like, how did you do that? And I didn't. That's like that mindset of, being stuck in the same situation and not thinking about where you could be instead of where you are.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't like the word luck though. I've tried to remove that from my language because I think you create your own luck. There's a lot of good opportunities that go around every single day. People just aren't consciously aware that that's an opportunity. Yeah. But you can only perceive what you believe to be true. If they don't believe it, then they're not even going to notice it. I bet there'll have been opportunities for us today to go and make a load of money and be more successful, but we've just not seen it. Like those guys outside, if you had the perfect pitch to go up to one of them guys and sell your business to him, you'd get an investor.
Might have to go do it after you.
We'll do it. Let's pitch something now. But yeah, there's loads of opportunities, and I think it's cool. The manifestation thing I want to go back to a little bit, because I think that is really interesting. Now, I would say that manifestation is just reprogramming your subconscious for success. That's all it is. I could call myself a manifestation coach, but it sounds woo-woo. Essentially, I just teach people how to retrain the subconscious side of the brain for success, because that's actually what drives your actions and creates your reality. Yeah. Super interesting. But there's a few things that I wanted to touch on, like you saying you don't feel abundant because you don't see the money, is you relying on the emotions of the external changing. And it's hard to trick your subconscious brain into believing it without that, but that's the key. And that's where you're going to see a lot more scale, because you don't need to see the numbers on the screen to start attracting it. Because if you don't feel abundant because you can't see the numbers or you've spent it all, you're going to repel it, which is interesting.
No, yeah, 100%. That's why I like to do things like this to almost open my mind up, because that's probably one thing that I could be like. I feel like after having this conversation, I feel like I've learned that about myself anyway, that I am not abundant towards money right now, which is a problem why I'm not getting out of this situation that I'm in right. It's not been long. It's been days, weeks. It's not like I've been in this position for months, but the quicker you get out of it, obviously the quicker you can scale up. And for me, it was like I achieved that money, and then it was like straight into scaling. It was like, okay, let's just say, it was 10K a month, and it was like, let's scale to 20, let's scale to 30, whatever. And it's like, you've not even consistently made that money for 2 months, never mind, or that you've done it for 1 month, never mind 2 months, 3 months. And that sort of abundance it's something one of like our mentors says, and it's like a floor and a ceiling. So let's say, for example, you made, how much did you make last month?
Me personally, pounds or US?
Whatever, US.
15K pounds, 20 US.
Okay, so let's just say 20K, yeah? So if you made another 20K this month, month after...
If or when?
No, when. You know that. That's the main thing. But when you make 20K this month, that's now your floor. You're a lot less likely to go under that amount of money if you're taking the same actions and you're doing the exact same things and you're not even trying to grow. You're just doing the same things day in, day out. You're more than likely going to have the same outcome. But if you work in sort of abundance of having, it's hard to really like kind of explain it because I've not really explained it before, but like floor and ceiling is almost where you're capping yourself at and where you know that you can easily do. So for someone working a job when they're making 2K, they know their floor is easily 2K and their ceiling is probably 3K because their belief system's so low. And then for you, for example, your floor is 20K, but then your ceiling is, what's your goal of the next figure you want to make?
There is one in mind. It's 50K, but I'm not even thinking about that now because I've genuinely tried to, I'm actively detaching myself from the outcome. What I've attached myself to now is genuinely helping as many people as possible because I know I help the next 25 people with the mindset, break past that ceiling that they're at, then forever I'm going to have a business where people just want me to do the exact same process. It's already happening with the quite a few people where we broke those income ceilings. So for me, it is just help as many people as possible. And as a byproduct of that, I will scale. My business will scale.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And that's something that where you're almost turning a financial into an emotion too, because you're more likely to put your responsibility into other people than responsibility into yourself to make a certain amount of money. So if you're responsible in yourself to help somebody that you know that's going to make you money, you're more likely to do that than be like, okay, I need to go make money today instead of I need to go help somebody today. Exactly. You're more likely to achieve that. But like just to kind of put that into an example, like your ceiling will be 50K and your floor's 20K. It's going to be a lot harder for you to achieve 100 right now.
Oh, because I'm not even aiming towards that.
But because of the fact that like your goal is 50 and your floor is 20 because you can easily do it. Whereas realistically, you've scaled from 2K a month to 20K a month, which is a 10x.
Well, I did £2, 2 to 3 was like my average consistent, and then
like I went working a job like ages ago. What about like when you were doing like, your window
Window cleaning, I was doing better than that, to be
you?
honest. Yeah.
Okay.
So like mid to high 4 figs, which was good at the time. Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, I know. So
That's
it was
mad,
just
that.
mad for me to
Yeah,
go
that is
like
mad.
I basically took 2 steps backwards to take,
But
more
now-
steps forward.
Yeah.
And now it's crushed it. But yeah, I went from December. I don't really like talking about money, to be fair.
Okay.
But I will just say it because we've said it now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I went from like 2.5K to 15K in Jan.
Yeah.
So that's what, like a 7x?
What, in a year?
No, in a month.
Sick. Okay, yeah, that's class.
And then this month
class.
I'll go higher than that, and then next month it'll go higher. But it's just because of the inputs that I've been doing, and it's the way I actually perceive what I'm doing now. Because I used to be in sales because I wanted to take people's money and make a lot of money selfishly. I flipped it a long time ago, especially with closing, even before I started the coaching, to just helping people.
Yeah.
And then I find a lot of passion and fulfillment in helping other people do the same thing. Like, I had one client, Max, when I started working with him, he was doing like 2 to 3K a month. And then he went straight to 11K after under 6 weeks of working with him.
That's sick.
There's loads more. There's like a community owner, like an info product owner that I've started working with. It's only been about a month now, last month. We've doubled the clients he's taken on board this month after literally 5 weeks of working together.
Sick.
There's loads of cool stuff, and there'll be more and more going out on my page that people will be seeing. But right now, I'm just super focused on the fulfillment and getting the best results that I possibly can with people. But it's easy though, because a lot of people are focused on the 10%, and they don't realize that there's this other 90% of inner potential that they're not tapping into.
Yeah.
So once I understand how to do that myself, and then just apply it to other people, the results come.
Yeah.
And it is easy.
Yeah,
It's easy.
Yeah, it is. And to be fair, the only reason I kind of ask you on a figure is because most people actually don't listen if they don't see if they don't hear a figure, which is like it draws attention in a way to. People will put you on a pedestal for your income instead of putting you on a pedestal for your knowledge.
So you've been on the thumbnail of the video, 20K a month closer, and people are more likely to click into it though. Like, it's serious.
True, it is. And
It's a shame.
You've all been clickbaiting about that.
Yeah.
He makes fucking nothing. How about that?
No, it's cool.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty
yeah,
crazy.
we can say that. My next goal will say 50K, and I'll achieve it within the next.
Yeah.
I should say next day because it's more likely to happen, but not the next 6 months. That's realistically where I will be.
Yeah. And it's like, you can then get into the conversation of like, oh, are you being realistic or do you want to be delusionally optimistic?
Why did I just
and
say
stuff
realistic?
Like that? I know.
Mindset coach talking about realistic. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm glad you've checked me on that, to be fair.
That's what we're here for, because you can't ever be fully personally developed. That's one thing my mentor told me also, is you'll never achieve a full understanding of yourself, because there's always new things to understand and learn about where you're going, different things you're learning every single day, really. Like, and that's probably something that you're still doing. So that's why I'm so open. I feel like having an open mind to everything is probably one of the best minds to have, because if I'm open to this conversation, I'm more likely to take something and learn something from it. Whereas if I'm trying to be, have my back up and almost
egocentric,
be having an ego towards it, a lot more likely to just not take anything, not learn anything from the conversation.
Yeah, I think ego is such an interesting thing, especially being in sales. I've understood that ego comes from insecurity every single time. So if someone's got a high ego about how much money they make, they really are scared about losing all of that, or they're not making that much money. You've got to learn to drop your ego, and like what your mentor said to you is perfect, because if you do have an ego going into conversations, even with people who you might perceive below you, you're not going to pick up the lessons that you're being taught through them. Now, it's something that I had to deal with as well, because at one point I thought I was this amazing high ticket closer, no one could beat me, which is a good mindset to have, but I wasn't backing it up. I was doing like less than 5K a month consistently. And I actually invested into a new sales trainer, and he got me on. We did a little bit of a role play. He shattered my ego, and I was like broken on pieces in the floor. And then it gave me a chance to actually go on and become a lot better. So I think that's meant, especially when, you're just having a conversation and you can take things from different people. It doesn't really matter what level they're at.
Okay. So we've got a couple of things I want to touch on. Like, we've come away from the mindset side, because I feel like everyone's had like some hour-long mindset training, which is class. I hope people have taken stuff away from it. But going into more like your lifestyle and what you want to be doing. So right now, what are you doing? Where are you?
Well, we're in Marbella.
Yeah.
I've been here since December now. I decided this year, I'm going to travel to as many places as possible and then find myself a base. Now, I'm leaving to Miami on the 28th and then Mexico after. I don't want to leave. I actually love it here. I think the lifestyle's it's very relaxed. Great places to train, great places to eat. It's just filled with a lot of good people, and I'm enjoying it. So yeah, my lifestyle at the moment is pretty much just wake up in the morning, train, eat, work, sleep, repeat. But I love it. Like that's what I've always wanted to do in a better environment than being at home. It's chucking it down, it's raining. Just here in the sun, like I'm happy, but it's difficult for me now because I've basically achieved the life that was on my vision board all these months ago. If you're in sales, I'm essentially living my future pace right now. So you get to that next level and then it's like, shit, where do I go from here? But like I said, life is just a game. You've got to get to the next level and then upgrade your XP, upgrade your character to get to the next one. It's just a constant, never-ending mission.
It's all a game.
It is a game. It's genuinely just a game. You've got to learn the rules and then apply them to your life and you win the game. But there is no real...
You don't ever win, do you?
You can achieve different levels, right? But there's no end goal.
No. And there's also, it's a weird one because it's endless. Like, how do you define the levels and like, we don't need to go into depth of it really, but life is really just a game. You can wake up and do whatever you want, whenever you want, anyone. I don't care, like forget money, whatever, because there's guys that literally don't even worry about, that don't make money, that live in jungles, do you know what I mean? These people are probably more happy than you and it's crazy. But I feel like if you genuinely just wake up, I'm not telling you to go and like leave your job and just not turn up to work tomorrow because that's probably
I reckon
needed.
You should do that, to be fair.
I did it worked. But yeah, a lot of people will probably get caught up in that process and just start doing the wrong things, have too much time to do the wrong things instead of the right things, which is why I always recommend people that are starting out their journey, that are still working a job, to get their mindset right before leaving the job, because that's the most important thing. We can go into full-time entrepreneurship as well, but I learned so much stuff in December, so many things every single day, because I was waking up when I started. So I left my job the first week. I was sleeping in till 2:00 in the afternoon, staying up till late, watching TV at night time, still getting my work done that I needed to do. That was like, okay, if I do this is the bare minimum, I'm still going to be making the money that I kind of want to make. It's the bare minimum. I'm not growing. And from doing that, I lost all not even motivation, because I don't believe in motivation, but I lost all discipline. I lost all sort of everything mindset wise. I just felt so low and unfulfilled every single day because I wasn't doing anything. And then I started to focus on, getting up at a half decent time. Not to say you need to wake up at 6 a.m. because I don't believe you should really wake up when your body wakes up, but waking up then and getting straight out of bed and doing certain habits, going to the gym, eating good food, not spending the first hour of your day on your phone and all these different things. Obviously, being a trader, it's sometimes difficult because I wake up and my brain's programmed to go into MetaTrader and look at the charts and see where they're at. But I've been trying to focus on not doing that, not going on my phone in the morning, because for the last 2-3 years, even when I was at work, I was waking up 2 hours before I started work, 3 hours before, and I'd spend 90% of that time I had before work on TikTok in my bed, not doing anything. And then by the time I've done 2 hours on TikTok, I'm so, my discipline's then gone. So then my motivation's gone to go to work. I don't want to go, I don't want to do it. And it's like, that's when it starts the same when you go into the entrepreneurial life, because you rely on yourself, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's a big thing. There's something I want to challenge in that. A lot of it I agree with. Now, when we talk about getting up and going on your phone in the morning, that is literally the devil. I don't even have my phone on me now, but your phone is the devil. It's great, you can make money from it, but you're wasting a lot of your life and you're getting programmed to believe things that aren't beneficial for you. When we wake up as humans now and we go on TikTok or we go on Instagram, or even we just go on open messages, anything, any social media app, we're waking up and we're reacting. We're reacting to external factors instead of being proactive, listening to ourselves, observing our thoughts, being present, and just fully focusing on who we are as a human being. That's a big problem. People need to be more proactive instead of reactive. Now, a quick thing that I want to touch on is that when you're on your phone, right, and you're scrolling reels on Instagram, you can go and scroll a few of mine, but don't spend more than 20 minutes on that. You need to get off, right? Yeah. When you're doing that, your brain goes into an alpha theta state, which basically means that it's more susceptible to reprogramming. You're going on your phone, every single reel has a different emotion, and your subconscious responds to emotion. Scarcity, fear, love, hate, like all these different emotions, but it's like this, boom, 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 boom. So your brain can't even process what's actually going on. And then it makes you, in your actual life, less able to actually experience emotions because you think love's different to something that it is because you've scrolled a reel and felt something like that and then instantly you felt something else. So you're all over the place mentally and people won't understand this science behind it and why it's bad for you. They just think it's scrolling and having a bit of a laugh.
That is very interesting because I didn't understand. I knew it was bad for you, but now I understand that it's obviously what it's actually doing to you is your subconscious mind is literally just bouncing off these emotions, which can also probably, people probably watching this thinking, I've felt and I've struggled to feel a certain emotion now because of maybe TikTok. Maybe you just haven't been able to pinpoint why
just
you've
in
not been
general.
able to feel it. But yeah, like
you're just feeling numb.
Yeah.
I've had it because I've been doing it.
I still do feel like that sometimes where I'm literally just so detached from any conversation or like I might just be sat there with no thoughts, no emotion, or like something could happen and I wouldn't care. And I feel like sometimes it's difficult because when you start your journey, you almost have to kind of detach your emotions from anything because
it's a problem that though.
Yeah.
Because as males, we're taught to be these stoic guys who don't feel emotion. It's all part of the Tate stuff as well. It's be a man.
Yeah.
But like really, it's masculine for a man to feel emotions, but just do it in a way that is masculine. Like don't go around crying all the time. You can cry if you want, but just know how to deal with your emotions, but still understand them enough to experience them because emotions create the world that we actually see. So men actually do get blocked in general by society and the programming of like, you need to be a man, you need to be on top of your shit, don't cry, things like that.
I don't believe in any of that really. Like I love Tate because he's done a lot for me.
Yeah,
like,
so do I.
He's got a lot of good stuff to give, a lot of value, but then also that side of it with it's like masculine, do this. It's like...
It's this thing of like, I don't feel like you should worship false idols. Says that in the Bible. You shouldn't worship someone else's ideology, someone's way of living, whatever they say. Like just with us in our conversation, if I believed everything you believed and you believed everything that I believed, we wouldn't be different people. You've got to be able to take nuggets from every single different type of person and then apply that to your life and understand it. Instead of just taking someone's word as gospel every single time, even if you love the way they live, even if you love what they say, you've got to be careful of that. I think that's a big thing.
100%.
About an hour and 13 minutes.
Can we finish off with one little conversation and we'll wrap it up?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
I don't know what you want to, anything you want to leave it on. What did you just say then?
About worshipping false idols, but we keep going somewhere and then going somewhere else, but
yeah, I know.
That's fine.
Right, yeah. I'll end it.
We'll tie it off with something. What do you want to talk about?
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll just finger it into the ending of it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, all right, bye. Actually, no, we can end it in this because it's something we didn't talk about. But yeah, so obviously with the whole sales and trading, because obviously we're in separate industries.
We didn't even do this. Yeah.
Like, I feel like we need to go into it before we do finish up this podcast because it's been amazing what we've already gone over. But you're in one industry, I'm in another industry. I want to basically kind of, whether there's a sort of experiment we can do or what, but like the pros to yours, cons to yours, pros to mine, and the cons to mine, like trading and sales in a way. Yeah. Like if you want to give me, that you give me like the biggest maybe con, what other people would say about sales that maybe is or isn't true. So maybe people say, oh, sales is this and it's not that. Like
people say that sales is you work 4 hours a day on a beach on your laptop and you make 20k a month. Yes, it can be that. However, right at the start, it's not going to be. It's about data. You need to take as many calls, speak to as many people as possible to actually get better at the skill. No, sales isn't hard. It's very easy. Just like if you thought trading was going to be hard, it is going to be. Same thing. I went into it with the perception of this is going to take me a while to actually start making that money, but that held me back. Now, the con of it is being sold a dream. The dream is very real, but certain people in the industry will just bullshit you and tell you to buy their course. However, wherever there's good, there's also bad. Wherever there's bad, there's good. Polarity exists here. There's a lot of really, really cool mentors and people out there in the space who will give you a lot of time and help you on that journey. I've bought some crappy mentorships, also bought some amazing ones. But I think even if you bought a crappy one, then there's still going to be some golden nuggets in there that you can take with you. And if you've invested into things before, don't let that hold you back from going again. Because the next thing you might buy might be the thing that actually changes your life. And people have got a bad thing in the UK specifically, bad mindset around investing. I think the pros of sales is like, I can literally pick when I work. I pick when I want my calendar open. Eventually it gets to a point where you can just do 2, 3, 4 calls a day and still do 5 figures a month when you get that good. And then you can even go sort of off the tools and then just start managing teams by that point. And I think sales is a skill set that you carry with you for the rest of your life. No matter if you start a business or you just want it to continue as a high ticket closer forever.
Yeah. It was like mentioned in, I can't remember what audio I listened to, but it was like, if you can sell something, you'll always be probably one of the highest paid people in the world, because if everybody's business needs someone to be able to sell something, because that's what everybody spends their money on, by being sold by something, whether it's going to the shop and they see the food that they've seen on an advert, whatever, that's being sold on that item. If you can sell something, you're going to make money for the rest of your life, which it ties into the industry that we're in anyway, like with helping people and with growing our team of people to show as many people the opportunity as possible. This, YouTube, Instagram, it's all to sell and to show people what they can do. Yeah, it's like, I'm not trying to sell you a dream. I'm not trying to show you a lifestyle that's not true. I'm trying to sell you on what you can do. Sell you on your own belief, sell you on my belief in you. And
sell you on your potential.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The scariest thing as a man is to not actually reach the potential that they know they could be. Imagine getting to 30 and looking back and you've got a horrible bird, a few scatty little kids, and you're fat as fuck. And you think,
so many
God,
people.
if I'd have just stepped into that fear when I was in my 20s, where would I be right now? That would be scary. That's not going to happen for us, is it?
No, I mean, there's so many people that are in that position, and it's like, that, honestly, that was one thing that I probably have recently understood, but always believed throughout my life, which was, no offense to anyone that I was ever surrounded by, but even my own family members, I was like, I don't want to be in that position where you're not 100% like happy. If there was an argument in the household, it was about financial, like about money. And I never wanted that. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make money, because if I then believed that if I would make money that I would be happy, but then I came to find out that wasn't true. But I feel like, as long as you're making money, your worries are a lot less than when you are. Like, people say, oh, money doesn't make you happy. Like, yeah, it doesn't, but it solves a lot of problems, and it allows you to live a better lifestyle. I guarantee you'll be happier in a hotter country. You'll be happier in Marbella than in the UK, in Burnley.
Yeah, for sure. No, I can say that's facts. And you mentioned there like family members and stuff, and I don't like to like shit talk people, but something that you realize when you get into entrepreneurship, if you're coming from a different place, like, or you're switching up and going remote like I did, is that people around you will try and give you advice on what you should do. Now, never take advice off someone who's not in a position that you're aiming at. You wouldn't take a workout advice from some fat loser. So why would you take financial advice off someone who's still in a 9-to-5 when you don't actually want that as your reality? I think it's a massive thing.
100%.
It's something that I had to deal with, because my family, obviously, like, they just want the best for me and they love me. They're like, please don't sell your business. You're doing really well. If you do this for another 5 years, you'll be doing even better. Yeah. But I had a belief and conviction in myself and, the whole industry that I wanted to step into. It's like, if someone else can do that, then why can't I? What's the difference?
And it's almost, I don't want to go into a religious rabbit hole, but I feel like your life pretty much already panned out for you anyway. If you believe in what you could, if you believe in what you know you can achieve, if you get what I'm trying to say.
So do we create our lives, or do we just go down a path that's already been written?
I'd say it's like a bit of both in a way, because I feel like it's all about how much you're willing to get to that position. So let's say, for example, your dream life is this, and then you're here and you want to get to that position. You're going to have all these things that are going to stop you from getting that position. Effect. Yeah, it's all the different things stopping you from getting there. But you're so focused on getting there, and you will do everything in your power to get to that position. You will get there, 100%. It's guaranteed. But if you allow one setback or allow one certain thing to stop you from getting there, you'll never get there. So I feel like your path is written out to
Yeah.
Like your path, what do you want right now? I guess it is choice then. It's not, I'm not saying it's God's choice, but it's almost like...
It gives you options to choose from. Maybe.
Exactly.
Okay, we haven't gone down the whole like spiritual side of things, which is something that I would have liked to do. But
maybe we can get you on another time, because I feel like there's so many things we can go down.
Oh, there's loads.
Yeah, 100%.
There's loads for me, and I know there is for you as well. Something that I do want to touch on, which I think will correlate to trading. I believe that sales is personal development with a paycheck. The better you become as a person, the easier it is. And the more you challenge yourself on your own limiting beliefs and issues and bottlenecks that you've got, the easier it is to actually walk a prospect through that exact same process, because it's authentic and it's through lived experience. And it's also just like something that I've noticed lately is just like aura closing. Yeah. Aura is just, people can smell aura, whatever you want to say that it is. I just believe it's discipline. You know, when you look at someone and you can smell the discipline, you're like, yeah, that guy does what he says he's going to do every single time.
Yeah, I feel like you can get that off one. I mean, most people, if you're personally developed enough, you can have one conversation with someone and see if someone that is the person that you thought they were. Let's say, for example, we could have this one conversation and we've learned so much about each other to the point where you will understand me and I'll understand you in a way, not fully, but like from what you've opened up to say. And that's because of emotion, because you can tell by the way people are saying it. It's like, I know so many people that are making good money that aren't happy, and and then they've got such big egos and it's like this.
They're insecure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I feel like it's like you said to me before we started this podcast, sales is just a conversation, learning to talk to people.
Yeah, it's negotiation, conversations, tonality, conviction. There's all sorts of stuff that go into it, but it is very simple. Two people having a conversation. Someone's got a problem, they've got a pain. You're almost the doctor who provides the solution and helps them with the pain. Yeah, it actually is really simple, and people get it very clouded.
Yeah, well, I feel like sales is almost the same as also learning too, because if you are telling something to somebody, you're having a conversation with them, you're finding the pain to then solve that. It takes that person to be open to being solved in a way. So like being coachable in a way. Like if you're not coachable, you'll never grow, you'll never learn anything. But you don't just make a decision or conscious decision saying, I am now coachable. It's the actions you take to become coachable. So let's say, for example, you tell me to do something, I go and do it, then I'm going to learn from it. If I don't do it, I'm never going to find out. Or if I don't listen to a certain thing that somebody says, or being open to people, also the right people, because you can be open to the wrong people and go down just a whole years and years and years of just getting nowhere.
I've done that. For 6 months I did that.
Yeah. We won't go into that because I feel like we know we don't want to be there. We're not here to bait anyone out, but we're here to give the right value, the right kind of look into what it can be like. Because I don't want this to be a podcast where people are like, you know, coming in and saying, oh, this guy's making this much money, this guy's doing this, doing that. It's not about that. It's about the real true value we can give to society now, because this society has never needed this more than anything. Like this true knowledge and true power into people's conscious and subconscious mind, like we've just gone over the whole time, is so powerful. Like for someone to come on and listen to this for an hour could completely change someone's future.
Yeah, it'll change the perception on their own mindset in their life.
Because they're probably thinking, because they've never heard anything like this before. Yeah. And it's got me thinking, which is like, you know, saying something, because I probably haven't been in-depth thinking for quite a while, which is always good to learn something new. I recommend always learning, because that's something that you probably never do after school, is you never learn. That was the only good thing about school, is your brain's working. It's wrong things, but your brain is actually working. Then you leave school and you never learn anything ever again, and you just do
this is why I think this is so important. I wanted to actually touch on this today, and you've just brought that back to me. It's like the whole info space, and even for you, you're sort of like in info in a sense. People are paying for information. We are in direct competition with universities. I could have gone down the route of putting myself in 30k debt, going to university, or I probably spent over 5 figures on my personal development, sales and mindset. And I've actually become a lot more successful, a lot cheaper, and as more of a sovereign individual who gets to decide exactly where I want to get my information from. So I believe now with my mindset coaching business that I'm in direct competition with every single university all over the world. And I want to provide better education for people. And I think that's a really cool point to touch on, because people see info as just this like, oh, this bullshit scammy school course. But nah, it's not it. I want to educate the youth so that they can understand the rules of the game, apply it to their life, and be more successful.
I mean, you're not being paid for this. I'm not being paid for this. We come here to actually drop value. That's the good thing about it. Whereas teachers are being paid to just sell a dream, or not even sell a dream, just sell the wrong stuff and learn absolutely nothing. And I find it crazy when I've had so many guys that are in university that want to get started, or I've prospected them to get started in the trading space or just the online space in general, and they'll be like, I don't have any money. It's like, bro, you've literally just got yourself in 30 grand debt, the biggest decision you will ever make in your entire life. And you won't, join what we do, which is miles more cheaper. It's like a couple £100, never mind thousands and thousands of pounds. It's like, it's crazy how people will do that without
programming, bro, all the way through school, all the way through college. This is the next step. You go and take that programming.
Exactly.
I think that's probably a good way to end it then.
Yeah, no, 100%. But no, I appreciate you for coming on.
That's been sick.
I feel like it's been a lot of value given today, which is great. So
good. Yeah.
We'll catch you boys on the next pod.
Sick. Nice.
Instead of chasing the money, chase the version of you that deserves the money. The worst case scenario, what everyone's afraid of in terms of risk, isn't really that bad. I started a business, everyone knew that I failed. Me, myself, knew that I'd failed, I'd lost money. Like, some people probably laughed at me, but I just carried on working, started the next business idea.
I lost money the week before, and then the week after I made the most amount of money I've ever made in my life.
And a lot of my mates are 23, 24, just coming out of university, and they have no idea where their life's going, because all they've done is gone with the crowd their entire life. They've done what everyone else has told them to do, and now they're in a situation where it's like, fuck, like I'm an adult now, like I've got bills to pay, I've got trips that I want to go on, I've got weddings that I need to go to, I've got people that I want to see, and it's like, all that costs money. If you're a guy, you can't chasing women because they've got bread. And I just came to the realisation, I don't give a fuck. You could be making $1 million a month, but you're selling yourself. You're selling yourself. Like, I hate to throw shade, but that industry deserves shade, because there's a million ways to make money online nowadays for you to not have to post pictures like that online.
In any industry, whatever it is, to actually achieve what you want to achieve, all you need to do is...
When you're sat in business class, you feel better than when you're sat in economy. When you're sat in a Bentley, you feel better than when you're sat in a Clio. When you're sat at Tattoo or Nobu, you feel better than when you're sat at Spoons. Above all, like, the thing that like still carries with me to today is probably helping my dad out. I think my biggest regret is probably...
Yes, people, so welcome back to the second episode of Unfiltered Entrepreneurship. Today we are with a special guest, Money Coach Curtis, who made £100,000 last month, so I'm excited to tap root his brain today.